Game of Thrones is among my favorite of TellTale's work, and following the tale of House Forrester over the past 4 episodes has been a thrilling and heartbreaking experience. The newest episode in the season, A Nest of Vipers, is the penultimate episode of the series, and I wanted to share my thoughts on the episode and the choices I made in my playthrough. As I will be talking about many of the key scenes in this episode, be warned that there are big spoilers ahead for those who haven't played it yet. So here was my adventure through A Nest of Vipers on Game of Thrones. After a grueling opening where Ramsay Snow and Lord Roderick Forrester faced off, Roderick is left with the mutilated body of Arthur Glenmore, who helped out the Forresters in the previous episode. Not long after, Elena Glenmore arrives and discovers the fate of her brother Arthur.
Oh no! No! Arthur, no! Arthur! It's my fault. I brought him into this. I asked him to help. He did this for me.
You can't blame yourself, Elena. He was a grown man. He made his own choices.
But he trusted me. He always has.
During the emotional scene that follows, I tried my best to comfort Elena and left her alone to rest as the scene's final choice. I figured the poor woman needed to be alone for a while after such emotional trauma.
I'm sure I'll be able to. But I don't know what else to do.
I understand. Sleep well, Elena. You're our guest here. For as long as you need.
Thank you, Roderick. That means a lot.
We then switch to Mira Forrester, my personal favorite character of the series. A little while after learning new information in King's Landing to help her family, Mira is approached by fellow handmaiden Sarah with her concerns about the scene I made in the feast at the last episode.
To get you into that feast, and you thanked me by making a scene with Lord Andros in front of everybody. Marjorie saw, of course, and she knew exactly how you got there.
I'm sorry about that. I really did try to be discreet.
But you couldn't, could you? Because you're in over your head. I know it. And Marjorie knows it.
She tells Mira that she can't continue to help her because of the risk it puts her own status in. While I am sad that I'm losing a friend and an ally, I can't really fault Sarah for her decision, but hopefully she'll return for the final episode. Unfortunately, the handmaiden's conversation is interrupted by House Lannister guards who take Mira away. Well, that's never good.
Can I help you?
You need to come with me. Now.
Why would I?
Don't make this difficult.
Next, we play as Asher Forrester, who has just returned from his mission in the eastern city of Meereen. In the last episode, I let Beskha have her revenge and kill her former slave master, which was totally against Daenerys Targaryen's orders. Beskha is a character I've had Asher stand by in every episode of the series, and I just couldn't bring myself to deny her vengeance in that scene. I was worried, however, that Daenerys would find out about this, and wouldn't you know it, she did.
I heard rumors of an incident in the city. Do you know anything about it?
I didn't want to lie to the Mother of Dragons, so I tried my best to defend what I did without angering Beskha. But in the end, Daenerys wouldn't hear it.
You promised me Croft and his second sons.
And you made me promises you did not keep. A new day is born in Meereen. The slaves have thrown off their collars. There must be a few cutthroats who would fight for the likes of you. Now get out.
Sadly, without her support, Asher will have to look elsewhere for allies. Beskha then says she may know of some fighters for our cause, and the two head off to find them.
So what we're waiting for, let's go get them.
We then cut to Garrett Tuttle, who is still on his trek north of the Wall to find the mysterious North Grove. The Night's Watch trio is taking a breather, and we get to chat some more with the new character introduced in the last episode, Sylvie. She tells me that her brother Cotter and her will be going south, not north, and it's evident that she doesn't trust me. Finn then adds that he thinks that the North Grove isn't even real, and I'm a failure as a leader. Now, this annoyed me a bit, because I've been trying to be as good of a friend as possible to Finn, and the fact that he seems to care so little for me makes me wonder why he wanted to come along in the first place.
Finn, will you
Just piss off!
Anyway, Garrett and Sylvie decide to go hunting together. I rather like Sylvie, and I hope she will have a bigger role in the final episode of the season. After completely bungling the hunt...
Ah, you're joking.
Maybe next time, Garrett.
Oops. The two hear screams from Cotter, and return to see a white in the camp.
Fuck! Look out!
Back in Meereen, Asher and Beska have gone to the pit fighter arena to search for new warriors to bring home to Westeros. A fighter called the Beast isn't impressed by us at the entrance, so I said hello in the way I thought he'd best understand.
You've got to the count of 3 to turn around and walk away. 1, 2... I like this one!
That actually worked. The duo are then brought before Amaya, who is now in charge of the group of pit fighters. I tried convincing her that while they are all great warriors, and while they excel in the arena, they haven't known true combat until they have been in the battlefields of war. Amaya then decides that the matter will be settled in the arena. If Asher can beat their champion, they'll join his cause. What follows is a pretty fun action sequence where you can choose from multiple weapons to take on the fighter Bloodsong. Upon winning the duel, you are given the choice to finish off Bloodsong or let him live. I thought the pit fighters would respect me more as a leader if I killed him, so that's the choice I made in this scene.
Stick the little man! Do it! Do it! Your stupid game! Your stupid moves!
Returning to the attack on Garrett's camp, the group is battling several whites. As the group fights them, they quickly discover that their attacks are having no effect on the undead horde, and in the chaos, Finn gets impaled on a spear and dies. While I was sad to see Finn go, his death wasn't too upsetting because, as I stated earlier, he has pretty much been a jerk to me this entire series. Back in the fight, Sylvie, smart little wildling that she is, states that the fire is the only way to kill the whites, and the group dispatches the remaining attackers. Things aren't over, however, as an even greater undead mob is swiftly approaching. Garrett says that fleeing to the North Grove is their only option now, and the group retreats north, ending Garrett's story for this episode.
I hope you're right about this, Garrett.
We now play as Mira, who discovers that the person she is being taken to is Cersei Lannister, who we haven't seen in a good while now. This immediately made me nervous, as I flat out lied to Cersei in an earlier episode. Here, I tried giving vague answers, but I did end up telling her why I crashed the royal party.
It all seems rather careless, considering the consequences.
I had to speak with Lord Andros, Your Grace. It was urgent.
Lord Andros? I don't imagine he'd appreciate being approached by a person of your stature. You've been such a busy little handmaiden.
Cersei then informs Mira that she knows of my relationship with Tyrion Lannister, and wants me to find out who he will call as a witness in the upcoming trial. Not wanting to upset her, I agreed, although lying to Tyrion is going to be next to impossible for me.
I guess I could, Your Grace.
It won't be easy. Tyrion is devious. You'll have to hide your intentions, otherwise he'll tell you nothing. You may prove to be a useful little bird to me, assuming you do as you're told. In return, I'll take care of your problem with Lord Andros.
Thank you, Your Grace.
I never liked the man anyway. and I doubt anyone will miss him.
In Meereen, Asher is getting ready to set sail with my band of newly acquired pit fighters. In this scene, Asher's uncle Malcolm tells him that he's staying behind to help Daenerys. Malcolm wishes Asher the best of luck, and the two part ways.
Asher. Iron from ice.
Iron from ice. Casting off!
Meanwhile, Mira is now meeting with Tyrion in the prison cells, and I brought him one of his favorite things in the world.
I brought you a gift.
Wine. You know the way to my heart. And you didn't even have to hide it.
I ended up sharing the drink with him just to keep the atmosphere friendly.
Ah, true girl of the North. I know I'm not wrong.
Tyrion suspects that there's another reason Mira is with him, and being the terrible liar that I am, I tell him Cersei sent me, much to the displeasure of the guard.
She left me no choice.
She never does. At least you had the courage to tell me the truth.
I told you not to run your mouth! Stupid girl. You're acting a fool.
Let me handle this. We're not done talking.
You heard the girl. Go. And what would Lady
Tyrion tells me that Cersei is just using me, and without Lady Margaery's protection, this puts me in a grave situation. This is probably the last time we'll see Tyrion in this season, and I'm just glad I was honest with him.
Out! Now!
I wish you well, Lady Mira. Be careful who you trust.
We finally return to Rodrik, who we see has even more scars on his body than we first realized. His sister Talia enters and is shocked to see this as well. Talia shows Rodrik a note she has discovered that has detailed information on House Forrester and their allies, the Glenmores. With the traitor revealed, Talia wants me to promise to kill the man responsible, and I give her my word.
I give you my word, Talia. The traitor will get what he deserves. Now, tell me.
Come with me.
Now this next scene will be really interesting to play in different playthroughs, as all the choices you have made with Ethan and Rodrik Forrester make their impact. In my story, it is Sir Royland who is the traitor, and I needed to know why.
Your father was the greatest lord I've ever known. But you've brought this house to ruin. You pushed me to this, Rodrik. You brought it upon yourself.
I trusted you, Royland. With my life.
Cha! You'll trust anyone who makes the right noises. You know why? Because you're weak. You're weak. Just like Ethan was. Making Duncan his sentinel.
Ethan was a boy.
Ethan was a fool. And you've been making fool choices too, since the day you crawled off that corpse cart. Bungling your betrothal to Elena, which lost our most important ally. Letting Griff force you to the ground. Without a shred of dignity. Going to High Point without any soldiers, despite my every warning. Hell, you even managed to get Arthur killed!
Enough, Royland!
You've had every opportunity to save this family, but you've squandered them all. Your father would be ashamed. Hate me for it, but it's the bloody truth.
You betrayed us all, Royland! My father included!
I've held true to what I believed, which is more than I can say for you.
The only thing that matters is that you swore an oath to obey.
I swore to your father. I'd swear to Asher if he were here. But you're a cripple who can barely hold a sword. Asher knows how to act. All you do is limp between defeats.
Asher would cut your traitor heart out.
Oh, I don't doubt it. He has more balls than you ever will.
The rest of the family enters, and Royland does tell everyone that he knows the White Hills' plans, and he can save Asher too if I spare him. Now comes the big choice for this scene. Do I kill the traitor or let him live? Throughout the season I tried to show mercy as much as possible, but all the damage Royland caused and his utter betrayal to the Forrester family was too much for me. I couldn't let that stand.
You must be loving this, Duncan.
Believe me, I'm not.
It was the right thing.
What Royland said. We have to warn Asher.
We can't, not if he's at sea.
My lord, what do we do?
We'll meet Asher when he lands. Prepare the horses. We ride for the coast.
At the start of the final scene, Asher and his merry band of pit fighters are about to land at the coast. Asher notices that the port is oddly quiet, and the group prepares for the worst.
Hardly any ships.
Shortly after landing, Asher is reunited with his brother Roderick. Things are at last looking up. But this is Game of Thrones, and just when you think things are finally going your way, it takes a turn for the worse.
What?
Get that gate open!
Griff Whitehill has arrived and quickly starts killing off the trapped Forrester forces. Asher and Roderick try to escape by raising the gate, but one of them has to stay behind to leave the gate open. And so we come to the final choice of this episode. Who stays behind? I decided to have Roderick stay. Roderick had already cheated death once, and I wanted to make sure that Asher had the chance to rally the forces loyal to him, and hopefully be victorious against House Whitehill. Roderick did go down swinging, though, and this sequence was awesome and heartbreaking at the same time.
I'll hold them off! But my lord, you can't!
Asher is your new lord.
Yes, my lord. Roderick! Go!
And so ends my playthrough of the 5th episode, A Nest of Vipers. As I said earlier, this episode really makes me want to see how different the story can play out based on your choices. The consequences are all really starting to take effect, and I'm sure we'll see even more in the finale. I'm anxious to see what the North Grove holds for Garrett, and I'm really curious to see how Mira can come to her family's aid so late in the game. Overall, this has been another fantastic episode in TellTale's Game of Thrones, and I just can't wait to see how my version of the story will end. Thank you for watching my video, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe. Until next time, keep having great adventures, everyone.